5 Republican presidential hopefuls went toe-to-toe in Miami last night, minus, once again, former President Donald Trump, who, by the way, has a hefty lead in the polls over his rivals. They mostly disregarded the results from Tuesday's off-year elections, where Democrats scored decisive victories fueled by the issue of reproductive rights. It took the candidates more than an hour and a half to address the issue. Now, Sarah Selip is a Republican strategist and the founder of the public relations firm 917 Strategies. Hey, thanks for joining me. We saw an issues-focused debate touching on foreign policy, a few other issues, and then finally reproductive rights near the end. And also hearing a line that I don't think we've heard before on a presidential debate stage: "You are scum." So I'll come out and say it. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, I mean, he displayed textbook misogyny toward former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, right? He introduced her daughter into the debate, accusing Haley of being hypocritical because her daughter is on TikTok. It prompted Haley to respond, "You are scum." Great. I wanted to say all of that to rip the Band-Aid off. Did Nikki Haley win the debate?
I would say so. I would also argue that Ron DeSantis was a close second. He's done significantly better than he had in the past. But Nikki Haley, especially with the opportunities that she's had with the conflicts between Hamas and Israel recently, she's really stepped up her game. She's always on TV, and she's just extremely poised, adult in the room, and she's really proving herself as a woman candidate for the first time.
You know, you actually said that there's a difference between running a presidential campaign as a strong woman and running on the platform of being a woman. Can you expand on what you meant by that?
Yes, absolutely. So when you're thinking about a woman in politics, you normally think of, you know, the young Elise Stefanik candidate or someone like Hillary Clinton, where it's, "I am a woman." But when it comes to Nikki Haley, she actually has the experience to back up everything she's done. She can outperform most of the men on the stage. And what I mean by the contrast, if you go back to Kamala in the last presidential cycle, she ran as "I am a woman." And you can't just say "I am a woman." You have to have the background. You have to argue your way into the old boys club, because that's what Republican politics, or just presidential politics in general, is. It's always been an old boys club. So it's asserting yourself, and especially against so many charismatic, experienced men on the stage. And to see her take that step and prove that she's not just a woman, she's actually a serious candidate, I think that's very important.
I can see the distinction. I will say Hillary Clinton certainly has lots of political experience, and so does Kamala Harris as a senator and all of that. So, but I can understand what you're saying of just the angle as a campaign on whether you're going to be "I am woman" or if you're just going to be a strong woman on the stage. You know, on the abortion issue, which seemed to propel so many Democrats to victory Tuesday, it wasn't mentioned until 20 minutes before the end of the debate. How important of an issue do you think it will be in next year's presidential race? And this is the big question: how do Republicans create a message around reproductive rights that resonates with women voters? How do they square that?
So abortion in general is a winning-losing issue. We see this with everything that happened on Tuesday night. Everybody has a specific point of view. But when you look at the candidates from last night, all of them are staunch pro-lifers. And they support the 15-week ban for the most part. When you think of what Nikki Haley said, circling back, about she actually has an adopted husband. He went through that. So she's just not going off of women's rights. She actually has someone who has gone through a similar process. I was adopted. So I think that's extremely important to have the other options, and then to have the candidates who, and just, I guess, going in general when it comes to messaging for Republicans, you really do need to have a stance on the issue, and especially what we saw with Dobbs being overturned. Everybody has a stance. Everybody needs a clear message, and everything had, when everything has to.
Let me interject here and ask you this, because Nikki Haley, she has been running on consensus, right, with abortion. Some people may look at that and be like, that's not clear enough. She's been repeatedly saying, hey, if there's an opportunity where I can put an issue forward and get a certain, you know, amount of weeks in, fine, but we need to be realistic with what Congress will do. So do you think that that is going to be that message on abortion for Nikki Haley? Is it going to help her succeed moving forward? Does it give her an edge with the general election, or do you think it's going to set her back as this progresses?
I think that she is doing the exact thing for what she needs to do. She has enough with the other issues. There are so many pressing things for her in the campaign, meaning like the UN and the war abroad. But moving forward, you're looking at someone like Nancy Mace, who voted against McCarthy for being too pro-life. And then she votes for Speaker Johnson. So for women, it's very nuanced.
Yeah.
And for Nikki Haley moving forward, she can defend her viewpoint instead of just saying front page, slamming the rest of the candidates.
Okay, yes or no here, because we're running short on time. I know you want to see DeSantis, Haley, and Trump on a debate stage. Whether or not Trump will make that happen, I don't know. But do you think DeSantis and Haley could handle Trump?
Absolutely.
All right, there it is. Thank you very much for your insight and, unpacking basically last night and what this means really from a women's perspective as well. Republican strategist Sarah Selip, thank you. Now, after 118 days, a tentative deal has been reached between actors and major film and television studios, ending the SAG-AFTRA strike just after midnight. Actors hit the picket lines on July 14th, demanding better wage negotiations. Some major sticking points included residuals on streaming and the use of artificial intelligence. While the strike is over, the tentative deal still needs to be ratified before it becomes official. National correspondent Clayton Sandell joins us live from Denver. Clayton, one of the biggest takes from this deal is that it's the first deal to ever include any terms on the use of artificial intelligence. Can you talk to us about the significance of this? Because what a sticking point that was.